read the word impact, immediately it comes to mind small, large, negative, positives, or small, large, it's going to be advantages or disadvantages, and you're going to be marked like that as well.
Amanda, this debate on the black ownership and the amount of shares that's being owned by the different population groups elicited a response from one of the learners, or it could be a teacher, that asked, why do the whites own more shares than the blacks? What is the historical reason for that? And I think part of that answer is historical.
Part of the answer is historical, but part of the answer is the white people, they did have more economic wealth prior to 1994. They also own most of the companies that were listed on the JSE. They were shareholders, they were directors. In many cases, they were actually founders of these companies as well. And that is where you can see the disparity of the apartheid regime between those that was advantage and those that was not and those that are disadvantaged. I mean, we can look just across the board, be it, if you even look at your schools. Your schools today is a very good reflection of the apartheid between those that say advantage and those that's disadvantaged. Although many things have changed in the country, a poor school in a lower economic area is so much more disadvantaged than your well-resourced schools, I would say.
Yeah. No, I think, learner or teacher, it's historical reasons. Amanda alluded to it, they had more wealth and they could buy more shares. But then also they establish these companies, and when they do establish these companies, they get what they call founders' shares. And that then gets carried over from one generation to the next generation. And so unless we introduce some acts to curtail or to stop the stem or the flood of ownership of shares in white hands, it will always continue until perpetual. So the reason why there's more whites than blacks owning shares is because of historical reasons, because of the advantages they received during the apartheid era. Okay, we've got Baylot's Combined School from Eastern Cape, and it's got 76 learners tuned in. Could you please repeat the number of questions asked in each of the 4 topics? Learners, I think we're going to leave that question for right last, Amanda. This learner just want to have a clear framework of the structure of the question paper. Maybe we'll do that later on. Thank you for the informative broadcast. Our 53 learners listening. It's educator David's mama from Mama High in Eastern Cape. And then that question has been repeated. Why do whites have more shares than blacks? And then the white people had many advantages than the black because of apartheid. I think we alluded to that. But thank you also for that answer. Amanda, the impact on the Consumer Protection Act on large businesses. So now we've got to practice what we preach. If we speak about impact, we've got to look at the advantages. So Amanda, what are the advantages of the Consumer Protection Act?
Okay, your first one says promotes and protects the interests of consumers by improving access to information. One thing that the CPA and the NCA does, as a consumer, you have the right to information. For example, if you're buying something, you have the right to know what's the deposit that you're going to pay. What's the cash price if you're paying it for cash? And you also need to know at the end of the day, if you're buying it on installments, so what will the price be then, the final price, so that you'll be able to make an informed decision. It compels the business to provide and promote consumer education. And the onus is on us as consumers to read these, the information that is given, because often I find the information is given, but we're so excited. For example, when you're buying a new car, you're so excited in buying the new car, you don't have time to go through the insurance contract.
Absolutely.
You only discover the smaller fine print of the insurance contract when calamity strikes and you need to claim, and then you realize, I didn't even know this.
I'm just wondering, why are you looking at me when you talk about buying a new car and not reading the small print?
I'm actually not referring to you, I'm referring to myself.
Okay. Amanda, we can look at the disadvantages.
Okay, the Act encourages consumers to complain. I actually find that, our South African consumers are very complacent. We don't want to complain. And particularly, I think our previously disadvantaged people. We are sometimes so thrilled to be in places that we can't be before. So even if the service is bad, we don't complain. So this Act allows us to complain. If something is not right, if you buy, I had yesterday a data projector installed in my class, Leicester, and this morning the lamp of the data projector blew.
Did you buy it at Cash Crusaders?
No, we didn't. It was bought by, is an incredible connection, but the bottom line is we now have the right to take that product back.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we still have the paperwork.